We acquired this Lady Norfolk by Ridgeway grandmother clock from my mother-in-law when she downsized to a retirement community. She had received it years ago from her parents, who had purchased the clock in 1974. Her parents had told her that the chimes on this model could not be silenced. Now, I hate being told something can't be done, especially when there's any kind of mechanical device involved. So I set out to either confirm that statement or prove it wrong. Upon close investigation, the first thing I found was these two small metal rings hanging on cords, one on each side of the clock, behind the pull chains and weights. I noticed that when you pulled each and released it, the chimes would sound once. So I suspected these cords might be the key to silencing the chimes. After removing the clock housing to expose the works, I confirmed that pulling each of these cords did indeed pull the chime hammers away from the chimes and from the hammer actuating mechanism. So, all I needed to do was to install some hooks into the clock case to keep the cords pulled in the down position. Scouting around in my garage, I found these picture hanging hooks, which would be the perfect size to hook the rings on and keep the cords pulled down. I painted two of these hooks black so they'd be practically invisible from outside the case. I used a nail to mark the correct spot to place the hooks, then using the correct size drill bit, pulled way down in the drill chuck to make sure the hole would not go all the way through to the outside of the case. I drilled the holes, one on the left, one on the right, and installed the hooks in the case. Now, when the ring is secured over the hook, voila, no chimes. When you want the clock to chime, just release the cord from each hook. Left side for the hourly chime, right side for the quarter-hour chime. Now, you don't have to remove the clock housing to install the hooks to silence the Lady Norfolk, but if you ever did need to get in there, here's a tip. The back does not come off of the clock, as I suspected it might, when you when you slide those plastic fingers around, but instead the little house comes off from the front of the pedestal. And when you're removing the weights, make sure not to touch them with your fingers, because if you smudge them, they'll corrode. And also make sure you label them. Someone else conveniently labeled ours for us sometime in the past, but don't get them mixed up, because they are different weights and your clock won't run correctly if you put them back on wrong. The pendulum hangs from a little swing arm up in the clockworks. Just pick the pendulum up off of the hook and remove it from the case to avoid damaging anything when you're in there working, drilling, screwing in the hooks. And that's how you silence the Lady Norfolk by Ridgeway. Thanks for watching this video.